Hi everyone, this is the 24th episode for the Climb in Flow podcast. And today, having a chat with Emma, who's one of the other coaches for Climb in Flow. And we're having a chat about her recent ascent. Let me just try and figure it out. Her recent ascent of Yma O Hyd, which is an E10 7A. And we just have a chat about her mindset and how she got on with it, etc. So I'll let you listen to the podcast. Enjoy. You're right.
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, how's things?
Busy.
Busy. Yeah. Well, do you know what? You're always busy. I remember you saying, when was it? A year and a half ago in December, you said, I'm not going to be so busy anymore. I'm going to cut down on the amount of work I do.
It's different busy though. I think I mean I was away last week in London setting Monday to Wednesday,
Okay.
White Spider, and then I was at the Women's Bouldering Festival in Fontainebleau.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I got back from Paris on Monday.
Okay.
Uh, Big day of
Um,
travel. But it's busy because I'm like trying to set up my own like writing training plans and all that. And I've started coaching the Beacon squad as well.
oh, bloody hell, I know.
But it's more work at home.
Yeah. Okay.
So like the Beacon squad's every Tuesday evening,
Okay.
like so I was there yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, and then just trying to get some more stuff off the ground that means that I'm not setting as much. So it's busy but good busy, I
Yeah.
guess.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Have you had your hair done?
No, not it's
Have
I've
you
not
washed it?
I watched it this morning. But it's not I've not had it cut since before the wedding.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, I haven't. I've had mine cut like last week. It's due another cut. Getting a bit
It's
long.
it's the joys of long hair that you can kind of get away with murder and that you can leave it for ages and not bother with it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like the cool thing about not having much hair is that I just get up in the morning. I don't even have to look in the mirror. I just get up and go.
I mean, I do have to give it a brush.
Yeah. See, when I was younger, when I was when Kev was a teenager, I had spiky hair, so I used to spend half an hour in the morning like spiking my hair just to get it perfect because that's what skateboarders do, right? Got to look cool. Should we get to it? How long have I got you for?
I said I'd try and meet them at 2, so it's probably about like a 15-minute drive, but also it's like
Get ready. So
I
half
said
an hour ish.
yeah. I mean I did say 2-ish to them.
Okay, okay, the ish. Okay, so
We're, meet,
I'll
we're, meet,
stretch it out a bit, Emma.
we're meeting at the cafe anyway because the weather's not very nice.
Yeah, yeah, cool. So I guess congratulations on climbing. Like I have no idea how to pronounce this, so I'm gonna try my best, and then you'll probably correct me.
I don't
Uh,
know. I'm not very good at pronouncing it either.
okay. So the way I read it is Yma O Hyd.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Like Umar Hyd.
A what?
Umar Hyd. Or
Yma.
Umar Hyd.
Okay, right. I'm not gonna say that again.
I'm not entirely sure whether it's Umar or Umar.
Okay, cool.
I can't remember with the Y's.
So when did you climb it?
Oh my God. It was like the end of August.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And we are now what 17th of September, and I
It's probably
think
about 2 weeks ago.
so. Yma O Hyd is an E10 7A, right?
Yes.
That sounds quite tricky.
Only tricky,
Yeah.
yes.
So how does that equate to sport grade?
I mean, it's a CAF gave it 8C plus.
8C plus.
Yeah, as a sport grade. I don't know whether Steve maybe thought it was more like 8C.
Okay.
Either way, that's still a
I mean,
hard.
it's pretty hard, right, on trad.
Yeah, I think I explained it to Ray as like it feels like 8C plus in bad conditions,
Yeah.
be more like top end 8C in good conditions.
Okay.
Because I think if it's bad conditions, you really have to like waste a lot of energy through the hard start
Yeah.
trying to stay on. and if it's good conditions, you can conserve more energy.
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess you're the first British woman to climb E10
In the UK,
in the UK. Okay.
yeah, so I would say that when it was equated, like obviously Hazel did Magic Climb in Yosemite, which
And
is
that,
given 8C plus as a sport grade, which
is it?
we equate to like E10, and then obviously there's like Le Voyage in Arno that's had quite a few female ascents from
Okay.
um, like Caroline Ciabaldini, Melissa Lennard, and a few others. So
Yeah.
it's the first one on UK soil.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So, I was speaking to Beth Rodden last week, and or when I was doing some research on Magic Line, somehow I found a post somewhere that it said that it was around 9A.
Yeah, so that's for Meltdown, not Magic Line.
Was that Meltdown? Okay. Maybe I got confused. Okay. So, how does it feel to be the first British woman to climb E10 in Britain?
Really? I guess it's like it's nice because it's like the UK is such a big trad scene,
Yeah,
and there's so much history behind UK trad that it's nice in that sense.
yeah,
Um, find one in the UK, and it's kind of just finding the right one basically.
yeah, yeah. Um, and how does it feel having climbed that? I guess um, I don't want to go into too much detail unless you want to, but I guess knowing some of the stuff that I know about you on a personal level, um, I think you had some things going on in your life at some point in history, and I think trad climbing took a bit of a back seat, and you then jumped on Ginger Ninja, which was an E7, and watching you climb that was really cool. And I think it was really nice to see you super like glowing and excited when you did climb it. Um, how does it feel to have climbed like Yma O Hyd?
I think, I mean, I find like that the like climbing performance isn't very linear
Yeah,
for one reason or another, whether that's like life challenges or just a lack of motivation at certain times or some experiences that take a while to bounce back from. And I think it's probably a while since I've had like a project that's been close to my limit and learning to deal with that, learning to be motivated with it, um, and just like pushing both the physical and the psychological elements at the same time. So I think for me, it was kind of a nice, like the last couple of years, I've probably spent some time like progressing and getting my tribe back to a state where I feel confident about it again. And that progression, like I haven't just gone straight to like trying E10, even though this year it's probably been like one of my main climbing goals is that the last couple of years have been spent like rebuilding my level of trad climbing to the point that I felt confident in getting on this year.
yeah, yeah. And how did it feel when you finally climbed it?
It felt really surreal when I finally climbed it because it was sort of one of those really high pressure moments in that because of certain things that had happened this year, like I had an injury early on in March, so I missed the first weather window of really good UK weather, and that we had this amazing spring that was super dry, and
Yeah,
I missed all of that on top of having our wedding.
right.
Um, so by the time it came to actually getting a chance to try it, it was the last couple of weeks of good weather before it started raining. And the problem with this route is that the crux it shares the same red point crux as Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
That gets wet. So for quite a chunk of the summer, even though the weather was good, the crux was wet.
yeah,
And then in August it became dry, and my friend sent his project to Mission Impossible on the 2nd of August, and that was the first time that crux had been dry for like maybe 6 weeks. And so I was trying to make the most of the opportunity that I had, thrown in some work, which made it difficult.
Yeah.
um, and then obviously it's hard not to look at forecasts.
Yeah.
And so I was looking at the forecasts in the week I had 3 weeks free where I had the chance to really try this. So the first week it was dry into literally the very beginning of the second week that I had off, and then it was forecast to just bucket it down
Yeah.
for the like more than a week and a half that I had left. And so I was trying to like pace myself on how many times I went up there.
Yeah.
And the day that I did it, it was pissing it down in the morning. It had pissed it down the day before,
Yeah.
but it was dry in the afternoons.
Right.
And I was like, if I don't do it now, I don't know when I'm going to get another chance.
Yeah.
So when we first arrived up there, because the rain had been so heavy and it's so dry on the ground, bits of the route were wet that I didn't expect to be, but it was still climbable.
Yeah.
Um, and so I guess I just didn't expect it to go in such a high pressure situation. So it ended up feeling like a very surreal experience that I actually did it on that go.
Yeah.
It's taken a while for it to sink in. I mean, that's been like thrown in with some obviously sad news. So I think it's like made it feel like it's what should have been a really high moment was quickly brought down to like reality, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. The sad news of your,
Close friend passing away. Yeah.
yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because I think I
So,
think that news about 3 weeks, 4 days later.
okay. So the walk up to the crag is what? It's quite a trek, isn't it?
It's definitely quite a trek. It's like 45 minutes,
Okay.
an hour if you're going slow and eating the bilberries on the way up.
Yeah. Okay. So how many sessions did you have on the route before you sent it in less than ideal conditions?
I think I had two at the end of last year, just after Kath did it. Just figuring it out and seeing if it was something I wanted to try this year. And then I'd say it was definitely less than 20 sessions, but I didn't count how many.
Okay. That doesn't seem like I don't know. It doesn't seem like a lot.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of exactly remember how many. I would say roughly 20.
Yeah, okay.
Because like
So
there were days we planned to go up and then we'd aborted
yeah,
last minute because the weather wasn't great or
yeah,
just was really tired from work or one thing or another.
yeah. So just I guess just thinking about the numbers, like if you're climbing in E10, equating to in less than ideal conditions, 8C plus, um, yeah, you've got more in you, Emma. If I just look at the numbers right, I'm not saying you should. I'm just trying to, yeah, yeah,
I think I think for us, like there were a lot of sessions that we were up there maybe in June and some in July where it was almost just like a training session because the crux was wet. It was unlikely that either of us were going to get through the crux.
yeah,
And so it was kind of trying to figure out exactly what to do on it to make it still a beneficial session.
yeah,
And for me, that meant normally at the start you go off two low pieces of gear, and if you fell at the start, you swing into the B layer.
okay,
Um, but there's some higher pieces of gear, and so what I would do is I'd just have the higher pieces of gear in as well, and just treat it as like almost a sport route to train on it,
yeah,
and then like see where I could get to in and around the crux. And I think both of us spent a lot of time falling off within the crux, the red point crux, because we were getting wet hands.
yeah, okay. So you'd already climbed Mission Impossible,
Yeah.
which is the second part of the route, and the first part is the direct start to Mission Impossible, which then makes the route. Yma O Hyd. Yeah. Okay.
Or Mission Impossible Direct.
Or Mission Impossible Direct. Yeah, I know. I know. Well, it's a McAfee route, right?
Yes, he's. I guess so. Kath has been learning a lot of Welsh over the last couple of years.
Okay. So
And
what does Yma O Hyd mean?
it means still here,
Still here. Okay.
which
Okay.
I think is probably apt in all senses of everyone who's like done the route in the like Kath. It was his hardest first ascent and like coming back from a few things. For Steve, like I mean, he's in his 50s and still climbing at the top level.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's just another level, right? He's just an absolute monster.
He's
As, as are you.
and I think for me, it was just like a kind of signified that I do still have that level in me,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like beyond. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people talk about you get to a certain age and then things start to drop, but I don't know. If I look at my own personal climbing, I'm 45 and I feel that I'm still climbing harder than I ever have. Yeah, for me.
I think it's one
Uh,
of the nice things about climbing is just like testing those boundaries.
yeah, and what you might lose in maybe strength or so, you might gain in technique or other things. Yeah.
I guess it's also like the confidence and like knowing what you're capable of.
Yeah. So
And
going back to the route, do you work well under pressure? So on that day when you sent it, there was some pressure.
it really varies. So, I mean, it's a while. Like even with Big Bang, I didn't really put all the eggs in one basket. I was trying like lots of different routes in the build up to it, so it
Okay.
wasn't my sole goal. Um, because of time constraints this year, this ended up being my sole goal. And I can't say I entirely love the all eggs in one basket feeling that much. Um, I guess I was hoping to have more momentum from our Spain trip and to have like achieved a few more things, but
Yeah.
because I'd managed to injure my meniscus and hamstring, that kind of set me back a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think with the wedding and other time constraints of work, it just meant that if I wanted to do in my head, I kind of had to make it my sole focus in that like when the weather was dry, I had to be up there and like foregoing other projects for it.
Yeah.
Um, I think I find like that every route teaches me something new about myself, and this taught me that I can do it when it counts.
Yeah.
Um, and that I knew it needed to count. It wasn't like a, oh, I'm going to have other opportunities. It was literally like a, I don't like with the weather coming in, like this is maybe the absolute last chance. But I think it was like, I felt this crazy calm when I was pulling on it. Like I wasn't stressed about the idea that that was my last chance. And weirdly, it was the calmest I climbed on it in the entire time.
Okay.
I think I'd spent a couple of sessions before, just getting very, very close, looking very smooth up to there, and a couple of friends being like, "It looks like it'll just go and you go." But I think actually with my session with Harry, he was like, "You need you're climbing so smoothly up to the crux, but you need to like tap into that absolute try hard," and which is exactly what I did the next session later. I was like power screaming my way through on the actual go that I did it. So it was kind of like a switching really rapidly between like a flow state up to the crux to suddenly like I'm in clutch and I've got to try and fight
Yeah.
to for the last couple of moves switching back to flow state to stay calm to not mess it up. And
Yeah. Yeah.
that taught me that like sometimes I maybe don't tap into that absolute try hard as much as I could do.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, maybe.
Okay. Okay. That's something I didn't know about you. No.
I think some things like if I know the moves and like it's flowing well, like and like everything's going as planned, like I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
But as soon as something's maybe slightly not gone as I quite intended it to, then I don't quite have that same success rate.
Okay, so when things aren't going like what you perceive to be perfect, do you have a little voice in your head that goes, "That's not perfect. It's not going to happen," and then
I
stop?
guess it's kind of things do start to get a little bit more tense and like
Yeah. Okay.
trying to learn to relax through it a little bit. But the weird thing is like when I'm on site climbing and I know like there's things you're gonna have to make up on the fly, I
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with it. I think it's when it comes to a red point pressure situation where you've like worked the moves and you know how they feel when you've been working them and
Yeah.
how they should feel. And then it goes slightly differently, obviously, on red point.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what style of climbing it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and for I guess for the listeners, like flow state is when things are just flowy and you're in the moment and everything's kind of flowing well, and you're not really, I guess you're not really consciously thinking. And a clutch state is where you consciously decide to give 100% in the moment. I guess which is quite a new concept in sports psychology. But like, I guess trying super hard boulders or climbing at your limit where you're consciously deciding to give it 100% is clutch state.
Yeah, and I found I needed to be in flow state up until the crux of Mission Impossible. I needed that to conserve that energy as much as I possibly could,
Yeah,
and to relax so that I had the energy to try hard on the crux. And so it was almost like a mid move, like you have to change it instantly. You're in one move and then you're suddenly going out of it now, and like now I need to try hard. It wasn't like I'm at a rest and I need to switch my state and try
yeah,
hard. It was like there is no rest and I now need to switch to
yeah,
try hard.
yeah, yeah. So in your coaching, do or when you watch other climbers, is that something you see a lot of or not a lot of?
I think it really varies person to person. Like
Okay.
I think a lot of people give up more quickly than they think they do.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's just trying to get to people to switch their mentality of like one more move. Like if you suddenly latch a hold, like
Yeah.
you can open up the gateway to a whole new high point and new sequence. I think I do see a lot of people probably fall more into my category of like if it's not quite gone to plan or something feels a bit off, that they kind of let go, or it
Yeah.
looks like they're letting go. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you chat to a person afterwards and they were like, no, I was pumped out my tree and trying hard. But I guess that's like maybe I'm being a bit harsh on myself. Like I always look like maybe I'm not trying hard, but I am.
Yeah. Okay.
But then there's certain moves that force me to make look like I'm trying hard.
Yeah. Okay.
And so it's kind of a difficult fine line in that, particularly with moves of that nature, where a slight error does cost you being able to do the move.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Um, but I also did find that maybe there were some moves that I could have done slightly less perfectly and still done it.
Yeah.
Um, I think psychologically, again, the go before I did the route with Harry, I fell off at the crux. Very close to doing it. Fell quite a long way down back to the rest that's at the middle of the route. Um, and decided that I was going to go from there to the top, like, or try and go from there. So I had to do a lot of climbing back up to the cracks.
Yeah.
I did it. I went through to the top. And so it's just like, this is psychological. Like,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
yeah. And in that moment, I think it was like, if I can do it in this sort of state, and I was pumped out my tree. But also, it's really good to know that I could do the top tired, and that really helped me on the day that I did it.
Yeah. So when you finally climbed it, I guess when you got to the crux, you said that when you climbed with Harry, it was psychological. Um, what was it something you were conscious of when you got there that to flick that switch to just keep going, to not hesitate? Because sometimes that moment of hesitation is enough to wear you out with your energy.
I think part of it was that the move is really, really hard. And I think a couple of times I would be just lose a little bit of energy trying to make the distance. Um, but I do also think a little bit of that was just because I think part of it was that to some detriment we've been climbing on it wet.
Yeah,
And so when you get there, you're falling off the same move because you're getting wet hands.
yeah,
And then you're falling off the same move when it's dry because suddenly this psychological barrier is kicked in that that's where you fell off
yeah,
previously a few times because it was wet.
yeah,
And so I think for me, it was almost just building up past that block that I could do that move now that it was dry, but
yeah,
and it wasn't wet anymore. But it's just like something in my brain was like, well, you've fallen off here all the time so far.
yeah,
Like progressively getting a little bit closer each time.
yeah,
Um, but it's funny what your brain tells you when
yeah,
you've done
yeah.
something repeatedly after a while.
Yeah. So when you finally, or on the day that you made the ascent, when you finally did get past the crux, was there any thoughts going around in your head going, oh, actually, I could do this?
I think a little bit, but you don't want because it was still hard climbing.
Give into that?
You don't want to give into it completely,
Of
like
course not.
to like lose focus and
Yeah,
make a silly mistake. I mean, I've done that in the past where I've thought I've been in on something and suddenly slipped off or
yeah,
done something really stupid.
yeah.
In like, oh, well, that was dumb.
So yeah, I guess the body, you relax, right? You relax your body tension, you relax your core maybe, and then just as you relax, I don't know, focus isn't 100% there, you slip off.
Yeah. So
So
I think, I mean, it's either that or you start to get a little bit overexcited and then you get the disco leg shakes from being
yes.
excited, don't you? And your breathing goes out the window and
Yeah,
all of a sudden things change. And I think for me, I think because I'd done it so tired the session before, I think a little bit of me was like, I can do this tired. So it gave me the confidence.
yeah,
But I was also still like power screaming my way to the last two moves when you get the last piece of gear in.
yeah,
And once I got the last piece of gear in, I was like, I just need to take a moment here to like calm my breathing back down, make sure I know exactly what I'm doing, and then execute the last couple of moves.
yeah,
And I think, I mean, that's where so many years of making mistakes, being open to making mistakes, trying hard, falling off, allowed me to like literally on this route throw all my experience together to make it count.
yeah.
And like the first go I had on it, I fell off the crux, not pumped. Um, and I like made a little bit of a mistake. In the second go, I was more tired, but somehow managed to find that fight.
Isn't it funny, like how do when you, I don't know, somehow you're tired and then you jump on the route and think, oh, I'll just have one more go. I'll just work the moves or just get it dialed so that I know 100% for next time. Isn't it funny how that when you are then so tired that you can still perform at that level and
Yeah,
then
I mean it's crazy, isn't it? I guess it's like the pressure goes off. And that when you speak to people, it's like, oh, I've taken the drawers out and I sent it, or it was my last go of the day and I've sent it. It was the same for my friend on Mission Impossible. He was having his third go of the day,
yeah,
training burn for next time, and he sent it.
yeah.
Um, I mean, for my second go, when I actually hit the hold I've been falling off on repeatedly, my elbow went like this. And it was almost this like, oh, I'm on the hold state of disbelief. But I was like, oh, I'm on the hold. I better actually do the next move.
Yeah, because you hadn't thought past it.
And well, I had thought past it in a hand, but I think in some ways, I think that's where my session before was so valuable is that I had thought past it and I had thought to try
Yeah,
and climb a lot lower whilst tired. If I hadn't have done that, I think maybe the panic would have kicked in a lot more.
yeah.
Um, but I know from speaking to Kath, like the move that I was falling off a lot is the move that he was falling off a lot.
Yeah.
And like it took him a while, but once he did that move, he went to the top.
Yeah.
Obviously, for Steve, he did it really quickly, so he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah. See, really interesting. Something that I try and stay away from nowadays is if I've climbed something or I know a route and it might have certain difficult moves or something tricky, if somebody were to jump on that route and ask me, I I wouldn't say anything negative about the route because I think if you say, oh, there's a really tricky move there, or that's a hard crux, or this is tricky, people will set off with that in their minds, and the brain might kind of, when they get to that point, might kind of go, oh yeah, this is tricky, and then they'll
I
fall off.
think having been on that same crux beforehand on Mission Impossible, I knew it was tricky.
Okay.
So there's like probably a little bit of that going on in that it has that same move.
Yeah,
For Mission Impossible, because climbing up to the crux is maybe like French 70 plus,
yeah,
and then into this really hard boulder from, I had more room for error.
yeah,
So I wasn't really arriving there tired, and like there was things that I did on Mission Impossible in the lead up to the crux that I did differently on Yma O Hyd, um, in the same climbing that leads up to the crux.
yeah,
Um, I actually changed to my friend's beta and it was a lot more efficient.
yeah,
My beta on Mission for up to there was a lot more inefficient,
yeah. Okay.
but I could get away with it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because you got a lot more in the tank.
But
Yeah,
I would say, like, on the bottom of Yma O Hyd, I came up with probably better beats than Kath and Steve.
yeah. Okay.
It was definitely like, I think, a lot more controlled.
Yeah, okay. Did you have to do the rose move?
I mean, that's one of the moves I did. I did sort of do that, but I changed where my feet went, so I had different foot beta to both of them.
Okay, cool.
It meant that I think so. My friend belayed both Steve and Kath on it, and he said watching me is that I wasn't wildly then like almost like barn dooring out in the way that they were.
Yeah,
So that was one of the moves that was more controlled for me.
yeah,
And then there was another move just after that where actually Steve almost fell off on that move the day that he did it. But he managed in Steve's way to come back down and then redo the move.
yeah,
Uh, Still do the route.
yeah,
But for me, again, I've like found a shorter person's beta that meant it was slightly less strenuous.
yeah, yeah. Okay. I guess so. You're using technique
Yeah,
over strength, right?
using a foothold that no one else
Yeah, yeah,
uses.
yeah. But I think that's quite common, isn't it? With generally with female climbers who uh, aren't born with the same body structure as men, where men tend to learn with muscle and then learn technique. I'm not saying that Steve or James don't have technique, um, but women generally have to learn technique first. And I'm,
Yeah, I think also, I mean, Steve's probably, I was surprised Steve wasn't using the same methods as me because we're probably a very similar height, like sort of 5'5" height. The Kathy's a little bit taller, so maybe get away with the different beats a little bit
yeah,
more.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
So
I think there will be moves on it that will feel easier if you're taller.
yeah, and the more difficult for other bits, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The very start boulder, you can't cheat no matter, like, it's hard either way, whichever way you do it,
yeah,
it's hard whether you're short or tall.
yeah.
I watched my friend try it afterwards, and there's definitely a move at the end of the crux on the first bit where he goes from good hold to good hold.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Misses
Yeah.
out quite hard last move.
But the route's slightly overhanging, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very fine.
Okay. So that I guess being a tall person, your center of mass being further away from your feet and your hands, then you're using more energy, right, to stay on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's bits that feel easier for him and hard, and some bits that are harder.
But then it's all relative, isn't it? Like the grades that we give climbing routes are so subjective, and what feels like an 8C to somebody else might feel like an 8C plus to another person, and it might feel like an 8B plus to another person.
And I think, I mean, with I know with mission, a lot of people like if they come off it, they try it, then try it again with the gear in
Yeah,
because it doesn't make a huge amount of difference not to place the gear on mission.
yeah, okay.
Um, Whereas for Yma O Hyd, it definitely makes a lot of difference to place it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course it does.
Um,
Yeah,
so for that, it was making sure that every time the gear came out, placing it in.
yeah. So what was the gear? Was the gear good on the route?
I mean, yes, I get yes-ish.
Okay,
I think the first bit, it's okay gear. Um, it's like a yellow dragonfly and a purple DMM cam. So
okay,
it's like, but if you fall off it, you swing into the belay.
okay. But you're not going to hit the deck.
You shouldn't. I guess it depends on the weight of the
Relay.
bee.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I think this was a discussion I actually had, in that I felt very secure with my friends Darren and Harry, my husband,
yeah.
because this husband
That's good. Yeah.
such a weight difference between us that I know it's very unlikely that I'm going to hit the ground.
Yeah.
I had a couple of other friends belaying me, one who's lighter than I am, and one who's probably very similar weight. And I'm like, well, the potential me hitting the ground maybe a little bit higher. So we were tying my friend Harriet off. And then for Alex, I think the weight difference was pretty much the same. So um, it just swings and
Yeah,
roundabouts.
yeah, of course. Yeah,
I think for the next bit, again, it's like I placed a red offset one, and then a gold and blue offset dragonfly and a gold dragonfly.
yeah,
So whilst the gear is okay, it's all pretty small.
yeah, 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 yeah.
The offset like, isn't a perfect placement. And then so it's kind of like again the swing potential is quite high,
Yeah.
and I don't think you'd hit the ground, but you'd be a lot closer to it.
Yeah. So were there any no fall zones?
I tried not to think of them as no fall zones.
Okay.
um, I think at the start I actually never fell off the start.
Okay.
Um, I think it was definitely a point where I was like, I don't really want to like fall off and hit the B leg too many times.
Yeah.
That was kind of probably more than no fall zone. I know Harry discussed the second potential sideways swing fall, like you will be close to the ground.
Okay.
You'll be taking a very big swing. But I guess I tried really hard not to think about that. And I was like, I need to be in a state of fully committed.
Yeah.
If I'm not fully committed, then that's the potential to mess it
Hurt
up.
yourself. Yeah. So what do you do to stay in the moment when your brain might sometimes get distracted? How do you or what do you do to stay focused?
I think once I got the gear and I was making sure that my like breathing was regulated,
Yeah.
I was nice and calm. That I wasn't trying to rush up any move particularly, and trying to get through it too quickly. Like obviously at a nice steady pace, so not hesitating there. And then I guess it's that fine balance, isn't it? Like you're not overthinking it, and you're not trying to race through it at the same time.
Yeah.
You can go somewhere in the middle, and then also just kind of making sure that I was focusing in on exactly where my feet were going, not losing track of those because some of them are hard to spot. Um, and then just like focusing in, keeping like laser focused. Then once my feet were set up on my handhold, just being like, right, keep attention, keep the focus on what you're going for. And it just means that yeah, then you're so in the moment on each move that you're not really thinking about what else is going on.
Yeah, so it's more like instructional self-talk where you're instructing yourself to just keep doing things to distract your, I guess, your thinking part.
Yeah, think it's just making sure that you're not overriding with negative thoughts and that you're just keeping like a good confidence in the ability to do it.
Cool. Nice.
I think
Yeah.
that's cool. And I think once he hit the way you meet Mission Impossible, it becomes safe
Yeah.
and you get kind of more reliant a lot more on pegs. So it becomes a bit more like on pegs.
Like a sport route.
And so there's just a bit more margin for like relaxing and making errors, or like although you're still trying to minimize that,
Yeah.
it's kind of like I can fall here and nothing's gonna happen apart from taking a big ball and place it.
Yeah.
It's just switching between those two when it's like when you don't really like you'd probably be okay to fall, but you don't really want to test it out.
Yeah.
And when you know you're perfectly fine to fall.
Cool. Amazing. Thanks, Emma. Appreciate the chat. I hope you all enjoyed listening to Emma talk about her recent ascent of Yma O Hyd. If you have any questions that you'd like us to any topics you'd like us to talk about, please email us or send us a message. If you have any suggestions on people you'd like us to interview, feel free to contact us and we'll see you next time.